This episode was brought to you by the number 42.
Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is John Fillmore and welcome to another episode of the Pokemon Analyst. Welcome actually to the Friday episode of this week. So, we're going to be doing things a little bit more relaxed. I like to do things a little bit more relaxed on Fridays because, you know, it is the start of the weekend. So, you know, after a lot of analysis, it's probably just good to take a little bit of a break. So, last time I actually said that we were going to do, you know, some nickname choosing for our teams, and I have already kind of started with it. Now, I want to say, before actually we get into what, you know, I've decided, these are not set in stone, so if you're like, he's an idiot, don't name it that, name it something else, like, I don't know, how about this, then that's completely fine. Just, you know, leave a comment down below, try to be friendly if you can, you know, contain yourself, and I will definitely take it into consideration, right? But anyway, enough about that, let's go into this. So, first of all, our Mega Gardevoir team, Sylvia. It's just, I have a Gardevoir and I called it Sylvia, right? Same build and everything, maybe not exactly the IVs, but I didn't think I had the IVs in the attack or anything, and that's pretty much it. So, you know, I called it Sylvia, it works, I like it, right? Now, oh yeah, by the way, let's see, 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 or something like that, I said that, our Gardevoir is going to be female, right? And that also worked well, with the name. I just kind of like, female Gardevoirs. I mean, let's be honest, not a lot of guys walk around in dresses, so, and, you know, it works well with, the nickname, you know, that it's a female. I mean, if you had a male, you'd have to call it something like Bill or something. But with these guys, I actually have kind of given them a gender. In the other couple of teams, I've given a little bit more gender-neutral names. And this one's, I just, you know, it just happened that I picked names that happened to be either male or female, right? So, or for some reason, I picked them to be male, right? And that's just kind of how it is, I suppose. But I'll try to actually go through why I gave them a gender and why I gave them a name. Alright, so this guy, Weavile, he's quick, he's sort of a dark, he's mischievous, so I gave the name Dastan because Dastan is actually the name of the main character in Prince of Persia. If you haven't seen that movie, then I really suggest to just quit this video right now and, you know, go watch it. I'll wait. You done? Alright. So, awesome movie, right? Okay, so, I called it Dastan because it's quick, it's mischievous, Dastan used to be a thief as well, and Dastan is definitely a male name, so gender is now a male. Bossatronio. Now, this guy I actually called Bossatronio. It could have been either Bossatronia or Bossatronio, but I actually did breed this particular Ferrothorn. And, you know, it just works amazingly well for anything except for fire types or incredibly powerful fighting types. It just, it can't be beat almost. And I bred it and eventually it just turned out to be male. You know, the one that I have now, it's just male. So I called it Bossatronio, and it's a bit of a shout out to Jacksepticeye. Because, well, first of all, it's green. Second of all, Jacksepticeye is like the most bossiest boss of all bosses on YouTube. I watch his stuff now and again. It's a little bit, how would I say, not as kid-friendly or family-friendly, I suppose, as I would like. But, I mean, I still like what he stands for, which is just having a good time and being there for each other. So, you know, this is kind of a bit of a shout-out to Jacksepticeye, in a way. But anyway, so then we got this Garchomp, a male, and his name is Fury. Now, why do I call that? Well, again, I do actually have a Garchomp, which I bred, and it is a female, and I called it Wrath, right? Now, I wanted to, and maybe later I will, I wanted to actually breed another Garchomp, this time male, and this time also a Jolly Nature, right? And I would call it Fury, because my Garchomp that I have now, Wrath, it's actually an adamant nature, so it hits a little harder, a little slower, but it hits a little harder. And usually there's a little bit of discussion whether you want a Jolly or an adamant Garchomp. So, you know, Garchomp is just one of my favorite pokes of all time. Oh, there we go. Just my favorite poke of all time, so I wanted to actually just have kind of both of them. So a Jolly and an adamant nature, and then if I already have an adamant nature, then I might as well have a Jolly nature, I might as well have a male nature, and Fury just works well with Wrath, right? So that's kind of why I chose that name. Then we have Arcanine female, and I call it Firecracker. Shouldn't really have much explanation needed. And then we have Cyrene, again, female. And I could have called it Siren, but I wanted to have a bit of a twist to it. It's a little bit friendlier, I suppose. And then, you know, Cyrene is just, it's kind of a nice name. It flows well off the tongue, no pun intended. Okay, so in our Sandstorm team, we actually have Fury, again. Now, why is that? It actually has, you know, the same moves. Well, actually, no, it has a little bit different moves, but it has the same ability, and it has the same setup. Actually, no, hold on. That's why. Okay, nope, I made a mistake. There we go. This actually needs to be 4 in special defense. Okay, now their stats are exactly the same, and that works well because now they're pretty much the same Pokemon. I mean, I know you can change your stats around a little bit with a Pokemon, and I guess really the ability is what's really important, and the nature. In this case, they are the same nature. And, you know, moves change on a Pokemon all the time, so, you know, that's fine. And an item changes as well, so, you know, these are pretty much just the same Pokemon. And I'm like, you know what? We're just going to see him as one Pokemon. So, Fury here has a Garchomp and a couple of different moves, but, you know, that's fine. Then we have Bill. Now, Bill takes a little bit of explaining. First of all, it is a male. You don't see a lot of female Bills out there, I suppose. Now, Excadrill is, well, reminiscent of a drill, you know, and it reminds me a bit of a drilling station, you know, a drill platform. And that kind of got me thinking, okay, so what kind of people do you probably find on a drill platform, right? There are stereotypical names for, I guess, each job, and I thought, you know, a Bill is probably kind of stereotypical for someone that kind of works on a drill platform, and I don't mean any offense with that. I'm just like, you know, that kind of it just works in my mind, so I called it Bill. So then we got Aurora, the Suicune. Now, why is it Aurora? Well, it's the North Wind Pokemon, and it has, you know, some nice colors in its back which represent the Aurora, so I'm like, you know what, perfect, let's go for it. Voltaire. Do I need to say more? We got Maelstrom, which is our Tyranitar. Now, I could have gone for Godzilla, but I'm like, it's typical, you know what? I might save it for my other Tyranitar, but I kind of want to give it something that has a little bit more to do with its ability, which is Sandstream. So I called it Maelstrom because Maelstrom represents, you know, a fury of, you know, things that are happening around you. That can be in the literal sense, like, you know, water, or there can also be, you know, chaos that's, you know, whizzing around your ears. And I thought, you know, with its Sandstream ability, that works quite well because when it enters the battlefield, you know, sand just kind of whips by your ears and everything just becomes one giant chaos. So I thought that was kind of a fitting name, right? Now, gender, don't really care. With these guys, I can't really choose the gender because they're legendary and therefore genderless. And therefore, you know, with this guy, it's a little more of a gender-neutral name, so I don't know. If you guys say, you know, it has to be a male, then we'll change it to male. If it has to be a female, then we'll change it to female. I don't know. We'll see. And then we got Scizor. Again, it's a little bit gender-neutral. I called it Scissors. Yeah, I know. It's not the best name I've ever come up with, but hey, it works. And then as our last team, we have these guys. Okay, so Roarin. Now, why do I call it Roarin? Well, I guess it's a bit of a shout out to one of my friends that I had in high school. She was also pretty passionate about Pokemon, not necessarily the competitive type, but more about, you know, the Pokemon themselves, you know, drawing, art, things like that. So, she was really good too. And she once had a Charizard, or at least she told me the story of, you know, when she had a Charizard, and was like one of her favorite Pokemon that she had. So it just, it seemed fitting to give this Charizard the name Roar. Just a bit of a shout out. Okay, so then we have Venus, again, female. Why Venus? Well, it's a Venusaur, and I couldn't really come up with a better name. So we'll just keep it at that, shall we? Viper, female. Works well, I suppose. It's a snake. Then we got Nightwing. It's a scorpion bat thingy, so it works. Gender neutral. Don't really know what to call it, or you know, a male or a female or something like that. And then we got Dolly. Now, why Dolly? Well, have you ever seen those like you know, those little voodoo dolls in movies or something like that, or TV shows, and they have these like unblinking eyes, and something about them is just, you know, it's unsettling. Well, that's kind of why I called it Dolly. It's a bit of a cute name. It's a smallish Pokemon. It's, you know, a psychic type, so it's a little bit supernatural, I suppose. And, you know, those just giant unblinking eyes, it just kind of wraps the whole thing together and just makes it, you know, it reminds me of a voodoo doll, but then for a cat. So I thought it was, I thought it was fitting, right? And then we have Gojira. Now, why not Godzilla? Well, because the Americans butchered the name, and it's actually Gojira from Japanese. And now, why is this one actually different than the other Tyranitar we had? Well, Maelstrom actually has the ability Sandstream, and Gojira has the ability Unnerve. So it's a different Pokemon, because Pokemon can't really switch of ability, or at least not naturally. You do actually have a special item that you can actually switch some abilities around, but that's just a little bit of I guess a cheating way of changing your Pokemon around a little bit. I mean, it's not cheating, but, you know, I'd rather just keep these two separate, right? So that's why I called it. Again, gender neutral, not quite sure. But anyway, so that's kind of what we have now. And we're probably going to keep, you know, nicknaming our teams. I do enjoy having nicknames for Pokemon. When I was not really in competitive and I was just kind of doing, you know, Pokemon for the heck of it, I usually did give all the Pokemon that I did catch a nickname. I haven't really done that all that much in Alpha Ruby, come on, Alpha Sapphire, because it's a little bit, well, eventually you just kind of know, okay, don't use this Pokemon, you can use that Pokemon. That Pokemon, not that great stat-wise. For a strategy, sure, but I wasn't really into strategy back then, so I didn't really pick it at that moment. So I usually just only caught Pokemon that I could use, and I only gave, you know, nicknames to Pokemon that I really was going to use, right? So, but anyway, now that I actually do competitive, I give all my Pokemon's nicknames, and usually it takes a little while, but eventually, you know, a light bulb goes on, and it's like, yup, it fits, we're doing it. So I do enjoy using nicknames a lot, and you know, I thought it was fitting to give these guys a nickname now, right? But anyway, we're gonna now be looking for a battle. Now, I'm going to actually be doing it a little bit differently. I'm probably only going to be doing like one battle or something like that. But you never know, I might actually do two. But the first battle is actually, we're going to have a little bit of a different team. This one is different because I made it for a friend, you know, who's a little bit new in Pokemon. And now I can kind of showcase, you know, what does it do? What, you know, what does Pokemon really revolve around and things like that. And not to mention, you know, if you're really new to Pokemon, it probably wouldn't be good to start with a Mega Gengar or something like that. You know, it'd probably be just a good idea to start with some, you know, not really complicated Pokemon, and, you know, Pokemon that you also find aesthetically pleasing, right? And that's what I have these guys for, because, let's go back, there we go, because these guys are literally just Eevee you know, Eevee evolutions with a Mega Gardevoir. So it's kind of like an old lady with her cats, I suppose, if you can call an Eevee a cat. I don't know. But you know, take a little bit of a look at it. Vaporeon, Jolteon, Umbreon, Flareon, Espeon, all these guys, usually with 2 moves, 1 status move, and then Protect, and then with, you know, a couple of these items and things like that. And hopefully it works well. It's a little bit of an easier team to work with, not a lot of strategy involved. You just kind of need to remember a lot with, you know, what your particular Pokemon has, and you know, weaknesses with typing and things like that, right? So I'm just going to take a quick look through it just to remind myself of, you know, what it all entails. Yeah, okay, so I got that. And now we're just going to go and have a battle, or maybe even 2 with these guys, and see what we can do, right? So I'm going to go look for my first battle, and I will see what I can find. All right, be right back. She seems quite excited. I like that. All right, so we got Venusaur. Again, these guys are all shiny. This is going to be interesting. I don't really know. This guy's a Heat, so I suppose I could take it out with a Vaporeon. I could take this guy out with a Vaporeon because it has an Ice Beam, although it is a fighting type, so it might not be that effective. I'm gonna send out the Vaporeon first, just to ward off that that Landorus. Actually, no, this Landorus is not. No, this Landorus is not a shiny. If I'm correct, yeah, it's not a shiny. It's too it's way too dark for that. I want to put the Espeon in there as well. So I'll put the Espeon in. I can put the Gardevoir in there as well. Works well. And I'm going to go with... yeah, Jolteon. Alrighty. Okay, so we got the Landorus. I anticipated that. And this guy, he might actually have a Mach Punch. Now, he might actually have a knockoff, which would be rather bad against me, because it'd be a Dark against a Psychic. This guy, I'm not quite sure what he's going to do, so I'm probably thinking he's just going to switch out. Which is fine with me. So I can now kind of start hammering away at this guy. At least I think he's going to switch out. I think he's going to switch out. You know what? I'm just going to... you know what? I'll do the Ice Beam against him, just to be sure that, you know, if he does stay in, I can, you know, sort of take him out, I suppose. And then I'm going to use a Psyshock. Now, usually I don't use Psyshock. Until recently, I've actually discovered... No! Okay. Yes! Okay, critical hit. Got him. Nice. Alright, and both of you are dead. Okay. The Landorus had the knockoff. Alright, I did not anticipate that. Okay, here we got the Venusaur, and here we got the Salamence. Again, another Intimidate. So, first things first, he's going to charge right at me with his most powerful Grass type. Grass type. Did I say type? That's weird. Type. So this guy's gonna try to take me out, which would probably be a very good idea, but I don't want him to do that. So he's gonna protect. He, of course, is gonna go for the Leaf Blade, right? And here goes the Hyper Voice. Hopefully, nope. Okay, kills him. Yeah. Okay. Hyper Voice. Okay. Gardevoir. Yeah, I'm gonna send out the Gardevoir. And I am going to... I'm gonna guess I could Ice Beam the sucker. Yeah, okay, I'll Ice Beam, see how far I can get. And... I could... You know what? I'm gonna Protect. Yeah, I'm gonna Protect, because I'm pretty sure that Vaporeon is still gonna die. Yeah, okay, Double Edge. Yeah, see? Goodbye. Use the Citrus Berry. Here goes the Leaf Blade, and it's gone, right? Now, why did I protect? Well, quite easily. I can now... well, I guess I had plenty of opportunity to actually start hammering away at that, but oh well. So this guy is now incredibly fast. It's faster than any of these guys, right? And this guy is definitely going to be able to take out that Salamence, right, with a Thunderbolt, no problem. And then I can go for the Hyper Voice, yeah. Well, alright. That's fine. Stone Edge, that's not going to do all that much. I hope this kills you. Well, I mean, you know, I hope you don't... Yeah, you know what I mean. I hope I win. Alright. Yeah, good game. Almost had you there. Oh well. So, see, actually did pretty good against, you know, Salamence, against the Landorus, against Conkeldurr. The only thing that stood in my way was, again, the stinking Virizion, but oh well. So, yeah, again, it's the... yeah, one-hit KO the Landorus. So, yeah, So, yeah, I mean... I was actually, I mean, I did die, and maybe, I guess, the Gardevoir wasn't really the best, you know, the best choice, I suppose, to send out at that particular time, but, you know, even so, it does show you that, you know, you can win with what you want to. I mean, I'm not even using any legendaries, I'm using these little, you know, cats things that are about, you know, the size of a husky. And, you know, it still can do considerable damage. But anyway, I'm going to leave it here. So, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked it, then please like, subscribe, anything like that, sharing with a friend. Again, these things aren't necessary, but, you know, if you want to say, you know what, I like what he does, then I would highly appreciate, you know, a little bit of support. Anything you can give me, right? And to be honest, a lot of YouTubers say, you know, you're not a YouTuber without your fans. You know, you can't get anywhere without your fans, and that's quite honest. That's, you know, that's really true, because, I mean, I could just be talking to this tiny little screen here, this tiny little camera in my laptop, and no one would see it. And, you know, eventually I just give up because, you know, what am I doing it for? But, you know, now I know that, you know, there are, although few, there are still, you know, people on the other side that really appreciate what I do. So, you know, it's nice to see that, you know, there are people actually that do care about, you know, what I do. So, yeah, this is my first time saying it, but... yeah, thank you for all the supports and things that I get from you guys, right? But anyway, enough blabbing for me. I know I blab a lot, but that will probably change next week, because next week we're going to be starting yet another new team. This time it's going to be rain. I want to, again, get through all the weather conditions this summer. I probably have like another 3 weeks or something like that, so I am able to fit all these teams in there, right? But that means we still got 2 more weather conditions to go. That's hail, and that is rain. So we are going to have a little bit of fun with that, and I'm looking forward to it. I have already a couple of ideas what I'm going to put in there. I'm especially looking forward to actually put a Greninja in there, because Greninja is, let's be honest, my favorite water type out there. It's fast, it hits hard, it's an amazing Pokemon. It's frail, yeah, but I mean, I love it. I love it to death. So I'm excited to put that in my team, and we'll see what happens from there, right? But anyway, that's next week. So I hope you guys have a really good weekend, and I will see you all next week. So thank you all so much for watching. I have nothing else to report. So this is John Fillmore signing off and wishing everyone on the opposite side of the screen a very pleasant day. Goodbye.